Too many people have flatlined mentally. If you want to make discoveries, if you want to disrupt the status quo, if you want to make progress and find new ways of thinking and doing, you need to ask questions. Questions are the first link in the chain of discovery and innovation. Never forget, good questions inform, great questions transform. What questions have others asked of you that have made a positive difference in your life? What questions have you asked others that are helping you even today? Become intentional from this point on in being a questioner. You should even ask questions of yourself. Asking the right question of the right person at the right time is a powerful combination because the answers you receive set you up for success. IBM founder Thomas J. Watson said, "The ability to ask the right question is more than half the battle of finding the answer." But that's true only if you are willing to ask the question. As a leader, I can allow others to ask me the hard and important questions, or I can take responsibility, be proactive, and ask those questions of myself. I pass these questions on to you as a guide, with the suggestion that you develop your own list. Am I investing in myself? A question of personal growth. The most important investment you and I will ever make is in ourselves. That investment will determine the return that we get out of life. Three main factors come into play. These will determine if or how you will invest in yourself. Your self-image, how you see yourself. Your dream, how you see your future. And your friends, how others see you. Am I genuinely interested in others? A question of motivation. Someone once said, people have two reasons for doing anything, a good reason and the real reason. For you to be a good leader when dealing with people, the good reason must be the same as the real reason. Your motives matter. Am I grounded as a leader? A question of stability. Just as leaders are vulnerable to acting for their personal advantage, they are also susceptible to having an overblown sense of their own importance. That's why they need to remain grounded. Good leaders need to exhibit three important qualities: humility, understanding your place in light of the bigger picture; authenticity, being comfortable in your own skin; calling, having a purpose that is bigger than you. Am I adding value to my team? A question of teamwork. Here are my suggestions for adding value. Promote full commitment. Create an environment of encouragement and support. Identify adversity as an opportunity to develop character. And consider each person's strengths and weaknesses. Am I staying in my strength zone? A question of effectiveness. Staying in your strengths gives you an advantage. In a world where people spend much of their time shoring up their weaknesses, your focus on maximizing your strengths will set you apart from others. The more you focus on your strengths, the better you will be positioned to see and seize opportunities as they arise. Am I taking care of today? A question of success. Good leaders naturally look to the future. They are known for vision and for leading others to new and higher destinations. However, the future isn't where anything gets accomplished. That happens today. That's why you need to take care of it. To best use my time correctly, there are 5 areas where I want to make sure I'm taking care of business: faith, family, relationships, mission, and health. Am I investing my time with the right people? A question of ROI. The greatest legacy any leader can leave is the other leaders he raises up before he's finished. That means finding the right people and investing in them continually. Socrates is quoted as saying, "The unexamined life is not worth leading." I would add that the unexamined leader is not worth following. Leaders who never take time to ask what they are doing and why they are doing it are unlikely to stay on track, lead at their best, and reach their potential. That is why we need to keep asking ourselves tough questions. I want to give you a picture of leadership that is not commonly envisioned. It's of a leader asking questions of team members and then really listening to what they have to say. Good leaders ask great questions that inspire others to dream more, think more, learn more, do more, and become more. What do you think? Mark Cole, CEO of my organizations, explains, "When you ask for my skills, you get my strengths. When you ask for my passion, you get my heart. When you ask for my ideas, you get my mind. But when you ask me for answers, you get my strengths, heart, and mind." How can I serve you? I believe leadership is servanthood. It's my responsibility to make sure my people have what they need to succeed and get their work done. If you are a leader, that is your responsibility too. Asking, "How can I serve you?" not only helps others, it also helps prevent me from developing a positional mindset whereby I start thinking I'm somehow over or better than everyone else on the team. What do I need to communicate? Success in communication comes from knowing the context more than the content. When I ask this question, I'm not trying to find out what content to deliver. I'm trying to find out who the people are, what the situation is, what happened before I arrived to speak, and how I can connect and help. Did we exceed expectations? It's not enough to simply finish a job. You need to perform it with excellence without cutting any corners. Every time you bring something to completion, try to find out not only whether you were able to help, but how much you were able to help. If you make it your goal to exceed expectations, you can continue to learn, grow, and improve. What did you learn? The question, "What did you learn?" is not just for parents with impressionable children. It's equally valuable in a work setting. I ask it all the time because it keeps my staff sharp and growing. It prompts people to evaluate their experience and make an assessment. And, as I've often said, experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluated experience is. Many people understand intuitively that if you can't lead yourself effectively, everything else in your life will be a struggle. Self-leadership comes first. It makes every other kind of leadership possible. That's where personal credibility is established. Some of the challenges you face may come from the way you lead yourself. You may attribute them to someone or something else when you actually need to look at yourself as the source. Why does leading myself seem more difficult than leading others? We have blind spots preventing us from seeing where we have problems and fall short. What are blind spots? They are areas in which people continually fail to see themselves or their situation realistically. Everybody has some. Few people recognize their own. While blind spots cause all people problems, they can be especially harmful in leaders. Because leaders influence others and their actions affect a team's, department's, or organization's outcomes, the problems that come from their blind spots are exaggerated. The four most common and destructive blind spots among leaders include having a singular perspective, insecurity, an out-of-control ego, and weak character. What are the most important values for a leader? Here are the leadership values that I believe are most important. Servanthood. Leading well means serving others. If you are willing to embrace servanthood, not only will you become a better leader, you will help your team, help the people your team serves, and make the world a better place. Purpose. Let your why direct your what. Success comes from knowing your purpose in life, growing to your maximum potential, and sowing seeds to benefit others. Integrity. Live the life before you lead others. When you become a leader, you must focus more on your responsibilities than on your rights. You must do more than you expect of others. If you live the life first and lead well, others will respect you, and the chances are good that they will be willing to follow you. Relationships. Walk slowly through the crowd. Leadership impact is drawn not from position or title, but from authentic relationships. How do you develop authentic relationships? You live with authenticity. You treat people with kindness and respect, and you go to where they are to connect with them. Renewal. Replenish yourself daily. If you don't make an effort to replenish your energy, feed your soul, and renew your mind, you will run out of gas. Leadership starts with influence and builds from there. Keep that in mind as you hear these questions. Does everyone have the potential to be an effective leader? Everyone has the potential to lead on some level, and anyone can become better at leading. While it is true that some people are born with traits that help them to become better leaders than others, those natural traits are only the beginning. 3 main components come into play in the development of a leader. Environment, the incarnation of leadership. Leadership is more caught than taught. Exposure, the inspiration for leadership. Plan to go hear someone you admire speak. And equipping, intention for leadership. The one thing you can do to have the greatest impact on your leadership potential is to be intentional every day about becoming equipped to lead. Every book you read, every lesson you absorb, every principle you apply helps you to become a better leader and takes you another step forward in your leadership potential. What is the greatest challenge in answering the call to leadership? The greatest challenge in leadership is making decisions that affect other people. If you want to become a better leader, become willing to make tough choices and uncomfortable decisions. Those may include the following: courageous decisions, what must be done; priority decisions, what must be done first; change decisions, what must be done differently; creative decisions, what might be possible; people decisions, who should and should not be involved. What are the top skills required to lead people through sustained difficult times? Tough times show us ourselves. The people we lead find out who they are. As leaders, we also find out what we're made of. The best way to approach tough times is to try to see them as opportunities. How you come into a leadership role matters less than how you handle it. And the key question you need to ask yourself is, why do I want to lead? I ask that question of any person who says he wants to get into leadership. If you want to help other people, your team, and your organization, you're starting on the right foot. If your desire is to fulfill a worthy vision, one that will help people and make the world a better place, you're headed in the right direction. If you're doing it to add value to others and not just yourself, you are seeking to be a leader for the right reason. How do you determine your leadership potential? Examine 4 areas to get a sense of whether it is time for you to step up and lead. 1. Pay attention to the need you see. Leadership begins with a need, not when someone wants to fill an empty leadership position. There are many needs in this world. Are there some that strike a chord in you? If you see a need that you feel a strong desire to address and it moves you to action, that is a sign that you have the potential to lead in that area. 2. Use your natural abilities to help others. You have gifts, talents, and skills that you can use to help people. It is your responsibility to learn what those abilities are and develop them. If you're not sure what they are, ask others who know you well. In addition, look at the areas where you are naturally intuitive, productive, satisfied, and influential. 3. Make the most of your passion. Passion in a leader is compelling to others. People want to follow passionate leaders. It makes them want to jump on board and join them. And 4. Develop your influence. If you want to lead, you must persuade people to work with you. Life means transition. Most people intuitively understand that the world is moving fast, yet they still have a difficult time with it. Brian Tracy was right when he said, "In a time of rapid change, standing still is the most dangerous course of action." If you don't learn how to make good transitions, you either get run over or get left behind. When is the right time for a successful leader to move on to a new position? Leaders often get restless. When they do, they start exploring opportunities and new mountains to climb. The key to knowing whether it's time to transition is recognizing that there are 2 kinds of restlessness, good and bad. Good restlessness is healthy. It pulls you forward toward improvement. It comes from your desire to grow, to make a greater impact, to serve others more effectively. Bad restlessness comes from a desire to escape. You often jump out of where you are, and it can actually put you in a worse place. Ask yourself whether you have given the best you have where you are now. Don't move anywhere else until you have. Don't seek a move just to make things easier on yourself. To transition with integrity, you need to have done your best work possible. Then you can leave with a clear heart and mind. If you want to make an impact on your world, you must help others to become better leaders. How do you help people realize the talent within them? Perhaps the most rewarding aspect of leadership is seeing people with hope believe in themselves, develop themselves, and blossom into effective leaders. If you desire to help your people do that, proceed in this way. Find evidence that they want to grow. People worthy of your time and attention have a learning attitude. They're open to instruction and hungry to grow. They may not yet be convinced that they can reach what you recognize as their potential, but they have the desire, and they are already making an effort to grow. Identify their strengths. The people you lead may not know what they're good at. As a leader, you need to help people figure out where they have potential and should grow. Give them a place to practice. Training is good. Mentoring is fantastic. Development is incredible. But if you don't give emerging leaders a place to practice, their knowledge will never become practical experience. Coach them to improvement. People always learn more from their failures than they do from their successes. Walk alongside them to give them security and to help them through the most difficult problems. Share with them where they made mistakes and how they can overcome them. Tell them what to work on and encourage them to keep trying. Keep increasing their responsibilities. Allow your leaders to benefit from your experience until they are capable of doing your job. That takes security on your part. But if you do that, when it comes time for you to move up to greater responsibility or move on to a new challenge, you will have people who can step in and take your place. What's the most important thing a leader must learn in order to be a leader of leaders? There's only one way to lead leaders. Become a better leader yourself. Good leaders do not follow poor ones. People naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. So, if you want to be a leader of leaders, you will need to earn the right. You will need to achieve success first. You'll need to keep raising your leadership capacity. You'll need to make growth a major goal and dedicate yourself to it. And you'll also have to keep your ego in check. If you have a compulsive need to be the alpha dog, the other top dogs won't want to work with you. No leader can know everything, be an expert in everything, or do everything. It takes a team to be successful. As you move forward, remember that good leaders ask great questions. They may not always know the answers, but they are made better simply by asking them.